Welcome to Type Tune Tint. I'm Tom Kranz. It's that time of year again, time for the annual IABX Book Expo, this year at Kean University in Union, New Jersey. It's the 10th year for this fabulous gathering of independent authors from around the country to meet, greet, and sell their books. It'll be my third year at the Expo. I'm joined today by Renee Smith, founder and CEO of the Independent Authors Book Experience, a nonprofit that hosts this exhibition, who will give us a preview of this year's event. And I'm joined now by Renee Smith from her palatial estate in Roselle, New Jersey, and I'm in my palatial estate in nearby Fanwood, New Jersey. And once again, Renee, I'm doing a podcast interview when it's 90 plus degrees outside with high humidity. Welcome to New Jersey. How you been?
Thank you, Tom, for having me on your podcast again. I'm really excited to be here. Things have been great, just taking it one day at a time.
Well, you must get the award for busiest woman in New Jersey, and we're going to find out why now, because you do an awful lot of stuff. First of all, so I first met Renee 2 years ago when I went to my first IABX Book Expo, and the IABX is the Independent Authors Book Experience, which is essentially, it's a website, it's a support system, it's this book expo, it's a whole spectrum of services basically to help independent authors. It's a nonprofit. And this year's book expo, which we're going to talk about during this podcast, is the 10th one. So 10 years of doing this, that's really cool.
Yes.
So tell us first about you a little bit. What do you do? Like, what's your day job and where are you from and what are you doing and all that stuff?
Okay, so I was born in a wee little town. I'm just kidding. So I'm originally from Jamaica. I'm from Montego Bay, Jamaica. And I transitioned here to the US to do my master's degree in actuarial science and insurance. So I have a background in finance. And while I was working at my last job in the city, I had a desire to create a recipe. And I'm going to tell you about my writing journey first, and then I'll tell you about all the other stuff.
Okay.
And I wanted to recreate a recipe. It's pineapple tart. Couldn't find it. And I started hunting around for cookbooks online. And I realized there was no one cookbook that had all the recipes that I wanted. And so I created it. And I wrote Jamaica's Forgotten Treats. And that really started my writing and publishing journey. I should say my publishing journey, because I've always written. I've written poetry, but it was really the beginning stages of me writing. So I started with the first book, and then I did the second, Member When, which is an international awarded cookbook, by the way. And then I ventured into children's books. So currently I have 7 published children's books, the Freddie series, and then we have 2 other books, one of which I wrote with my mom last year. It's called Dory and the Baker. So I'm very excited about that writing journey. But when I'm not writing in my day job, as Tom says, I work at a nonprofit that supports the homeless in Union County. I'm the director of development there. And I'm also the president of the Chamber of Commerce in my town. I attend the Second Baptist Church all the way in Roselle, New Jersey. And I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 3 boys, 2 in college, or I should say 1 graduated from college. Yes. One's currently in college, and I have a high school senior right now.
All right, so I'm exhausted just listening to that last 3-minute description of your life. Let's go back just a little bit. So you started writing. So you got an MBA, right?
Yes.
And then you also have a degree in mathematics.
Yes, mathematics and computer science.
And so you started writing after you did all that.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, I'm not saying that's necessarily, let's not call that later in life. I started later in life, but you did all that. And then you decided one day that you had this idea for a cookbook, and you wrote it and you published it, and then you did another one. And that's kind of how independent authors start, right? They get an idea, they figure, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it my way, and voila. And so based on that, you decided, after you did your own publishing journey, you thought it would be a good idea to help other authors kind of through the same process. Is that about right?
Yes, yes, that's exactly right. Um, the book expo really started when I published my first cookbook. There were not a lot of independent authors at the time. That was in 2011. And, I'm trying to find locations to promote my book. They didn't really entertain independent authors as much. And if you did find somewhere where you could promote your book, it was very expensive. I remember one incident where one event, it was at the Javits Center, and it was for new published authors. I was so excited. I wasn't there physically, my book was. It cost me close to $500 just to have my book on a shelf. And mind you, my name is Smith, so my book was at the bottom of the shelf, right in the left corner. So I was trying to take, back then the cameras didn't have selfies, so I was trying to turn the camera around so I could actually take a picture of myself with my book literally on the bottom shelf. So that kind of drove me into the path of, okay, how can I help others? I'm experiencing this. There must be other people who are experiencing the same thing. And so was birthed the Independent Authors Book Expo.
And so the Independent Authors Book Experience website, folks, iabx.org, not .com, because .com is this Chinese site that I cannot make heads or tails of. So iabx.org. And if you go there, if you're an independent author or even thinking about it, there are all kinds of resources there. There's places to list yourself. There are resources. You can find help publishing your book, editing, getting reviews. If you have a book, you can get listed. And I guess the big event for people like me is the Book Expo, which is coming up at the end of September 2023. Why don't you tell us about where, when, all the details of this year's Book Expo and what's different about it, if anything?
So this year, because we're celebrating 10 years, we're almost celebrating over 2 days. So we have a gala on the Friday night, and that's going to be at the Westwood in Garwood, where we're honoring individuals and organizations in the community that have been supporting IABX over the last 10 years. So we have Avalon Brown, one of our authors. She has been with us. I want to say she's been at the Book Expo and every event that we've hosted, really, maybe 9 or 10 events. So she's been there with us almost from the beginning, and some of the events that we host throughout the year. And also we have Roselle Public Library, and they've been with us. Some of the staff, they've supported us from day one. They've been there with the Children's Corner. And then we have Columbia Bank, which was originally Roselle Savings Bank, and they have been sponsoring this event also for several years.
Yeah.
And then we have Mr. John Henry, who is our photographer. And he makes you feel fabulous. He's
Awesome.
Guy.
Yeah, I don't know where he gets his energy.
I know.
He's not a kid anymore, and he's on his feet the whole time, and he does a great job. And you're right, he puts you right at ease.
Yes, so he's amazing. So he's one of our other community partners. So that's for the gala. And then on the 30th, which is a Saturday, we're partnering with Kane University, where the event will be hosted. So we're partnering with Kane University Center for Leadership and Service, and we're hosting it at Downs Hall. We have the Children's Corner, as we usually do. We have about 60 authors or a little bit more, 60 authors and vendors will be exhibiting at the event. This year, which is a little bit different, we have food trucks, which is a good little addition. We're going to have the panel discussions. We're going to have financial literacy. We're also going to have, other workshops in terms of publishing. So we have a lot of things in the works, and we're just excited to be able to present this event to one, on the behalf of the authors, and two, for the community, to meet independent authors and to meet people and authors that you'll never probably not see out in mainstream media, but who have written amazing books and have great stories that they can tell. So we're very excited to be hosting this event this year again.
Yeah, this will be my third year at this event. And the thing I love about it is the complete and total diversity of the people who are there, right? The authors come from all over the place. They're all shapes, sizes, backgrounds, races, genders. They write everything from nonfiction to self-help books. A lot of them write about personal experiences. There's children's authors, and some of those books are really great. Science fiction, I'll speak for myself real quick. And then there's people who do fantasy. They really a real diversity of people, and they're all really nice, you know, and
Yeah.
they're very eager to share their experience. If you're not an author, you should come because, first of all, it's indoors, so rain or shine, it'll happen. Second of
Yes.
all, if you live in Union County, I'm not going to say you can walk there, but it's certainly convenient. And if you
Yes.
don't live in Union County, it's a good thing to do and it's constructive. And you'll find at least one book there that you didn't think you would find anyplace else, and that might be helpful to you. Getting back to you, so you listed this very lengthy. I don't know how you have time. Do you ever sleep? I guess so. You have a regular day job, which is basically it's a nonprofit that helps homeless individuals. You
Yes.
do this, which is also a nonprofit. You're involved in the community in Roselle, New Jersey. You do a lot, man. It's like, how do you do that? You have
And I also have
helpers?
a publishing company. I didn't
Oh,
even
of course. I forgot about that. Plus your
yeah.
website, you sell lots of stuff.
Yes.
Folks, it's reneesmith.com and spell Renee right. Okay, people, it's right there on the screen for you. Reneesmith.com. She sells some apparel, handmade crocheted scarves and blankets, and there's some merchandise, and there's all of her books are there. I mean, when do you sleep? When do you eat? I kind of know the answer to this. Do you recruit your sons and your husband to help you in some of your stuff?
Yes, I do when I have events, they help to pack up. Sometimes they come with me when I'm doing, my workshops, I can't live, especially when I'm doing my um uh composting workshop. I have soil, I have dirt, I bring my garbage with me.
What? You do a composting workshop too, oh, man.
Yes, yes. So I travel around to do that, whether to the schools and even in South Jersey, I travel a lot to promote my books and my events and my products. So my boys will come with me. They pack up. They bring they lug my stuff here and there.
Yeah, I
So
think
they're
I've met
great
one or
support.
two of your sons at past at some of the book expos, and not last year, but 2 years ago, I met your mom.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yeah, she was
She
cool.
yes, she loves this whole and I have to say, I think I got, it just dawned on me maybe about 2 or so years ago that I got my writing uh love from my mother
Mm,
because my mother used to write plays
mm,
and she has an award-winning play from years ago, and it just dawned on me because she's always writing. She's a teacher, and she writes poems for the students, she writes comprehension passages for the children with
mm,
questions. So I feel like I gained that without really having an understanding of where it came from,
mm,
and it just hit me. It's like, duh.
mm. Does she live in Jamaica still?
She's in Jamaica.
So you go back and forth with some regularity, I'm guessing.
Yes, I do. I do.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. And so the you have a series of children's books, the Freddie series.
Yes.
And so is Freddie based on a real person, or is he just a figment of your very active imagination?
So it's a combination. So the name Freddie came from my husband. That's what they used to call him.
Hmm.
He's from England. They used to call him Freddie. They always say he's ready like Freddie. So that was his nickname, Freddie. And then each story that I write has a component from my children. So I have 3 boys. And I wanted them to, the older days, boys don't like to read. So I wanted to be able to write stories that would encourage them to read. So we have The Great Compost Heap that talks about composting. The second one, Freddie's First Race, that talks about track and field. I used to run track. My boys ran track for several years. And my youngest still runs track. He's in high school. He actually has a few records from high school right now.
Yeah.
And yes, he's a jumper. He's a
Wow.
long jumper. And I have Freddie Goes to the Beach that talks about the beach. I'm from Jamaica. We have Freddie's Good Deeds talking about doing good things for others, not because you expect anything in return, but because it's the right thing to do. And I couldn't not write this book. It just didn't. I have the last book in the series so far is Freddie Learns the Value of Money. So as I told you, I have a background in finance. And this really talks about financial literacy for children, having them understand how money works. We have them go on and they get to high school and they get to college, and instantly they're supposed to understand what is a credit card, how to write a check, how to balance your book. We need to invest in them by giving them the tools they need now so that they'll be better able to help themselves as they get older.
That's
So
a
that
great
was,
idea because I'm a perfect example of somebody who learned all that as I went along. And, you make
yeah.
mistakes. And when it comes to money, mistakes can cost money. That's a great idea. So I'm assuming you're going to have your books at the expo as well.
Yes, I
And
will.
as always, there's going to be in the couple I've been to, there's always like a little children's area where there's authors, but there's also like stuff going on, right?
Yes. So we have um the authors, we'll do have some author readings. We'll have arts and craft, we'll have games for the children. And this year we're going to have yoga for the
Mm.
children. So we'll have a yoga instructor. The adults can come along too, but we have yoga instructor. We have just all things that will engage a child and keep them entertained while mom or dad are walking around, looking at books and purchasing books. And it's just a way for it, and it's in a enclosed section. So they don't have to worry that the child's going to run off. We have lots of volunteers who are going to be there to support us with that. So we want to make sure that the children come out and they have a good time, because we want them to be in that environment, to understand books and to love books. One of our topics, our panel discussion this year is really talking about do our communities having enough literary resources?
Mm.
Do they have enough to engage the community? And we're being bombarded by technology, AI, all these things that are coming in that are just distracting, and social media. Everybody gets sound bites. No, nobody wants to really read an article. You get 2 minutes of something, and I know all the information I need.
Well, my kids are grown now, but it seems to me like right now, especially where everybody's got, a lit screen, their eyes are glued on it, especially the kids,
Yeah.
getting them used to the idea early on that books are good and that you can get stuff out of books that you can't get from a lit screen. That's a great thing. What I like about the expo is that you can bring your kids, you can kind of park them in this children's area, and there's like adult supervision there. You can leave them there while you go and look around for 10, 15, or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's really great. So all of your books are available on your website. Are they on Amazon as well?
They're all available on Amazon, and a few of them are on Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
So, yes, and also my website. Yes.
Okay. And your website again is reneesmith.com. It's on the screen, folks. Spell it right. And one more time, the this year's Independent Authors Book Experience Expo, we'll just call it the Expo,
Yes.
is Saturday, September 30th on the grounds of Kean University. The information's up on the screen now, and it's for those of you listening just to the podcast, it's in the program information. Come on out, meet some authors, meet me, meet Renee, buy our books, because, it's always a help. And Renee, once again, I really appreciate you taking time out of your extremely busy life to spend 20 minutes with us here on Type Tune Tint. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you again, Tom. I really appreciate it. And I really enjoyed myself, as always.
Excellent. Same here. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. Hi, folks. Tom Krantz here. I appreciate you tuning in to my podcast, Type Tune Tint, and I especially appreciate those of you who have subscribed. I started this subscriber thing in July of 2024, really just as a way of recouping a little bit of the costs of doing this podcast. There's website hosting, and there's WordPress additions, and occasionally I buy a book so that I can actually know what I'm talking about when I interview an author. You can subscribe to this podcast for as little as $3 a month. Comes off your credit card automatically. And for $3 a month, you get the satisfaction of knowing that you're helping keep this podcast going. I'm in my 5th year now, but also I will occasionally offer exclusive content just for subscribers. So give it a shot. I appreciate you taking the plunge. You can unsubscribe anytime you want. If you have any questions or comments, of course, you know how to get in touch. So please subscribe, and I appreciate it. Thanks.